What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Nigel's Canvas back at it for another video, and today we're talking about why and how to retain retention in corporate America. What are companies doing within HR that are good, great, bad, and terrible? And then of course why annual surveys in today's climate simply don't work. It's not about pizza parties, it's not about check-ins. It's the concept of an annual survey. It's just a text checkbox. Employers don't really read it. It's not a lot of data. And then of course the actual employees are not able to see changes within quarter to quarter. Now, my name is Nigel Hammond. I have over 24,000 connections on LinkedIn, and I say that to say I've worked with a lot of folks in the career space and then across all different types of industries and verticals. And one thing that we're seeing right now is the era of silent quitting. It's essentially when an employee checks out, somebody is no longer interested, whether they're looking at another job, they don't like their manager, whatever the reason or the feedback is, it's not always captured within, this annual report or this annual survey. And so when you have sporadic feedback loops, it forces conversations, it forces action, and it also gets the conversation started in terms of what's going well, what's working, and what are things that we need to consider in terms of fixing within our HR department or any other intangibles within the workforce. Now, how do we know things are actually improving? It's not, again, just the annual snapshot. When you think about L&D, learning and development, it's about the actual sense, feelings, the emotions behind the company, but it's also ROI that we can utilize to track this data. And so when you have these sporadic feedback loops, when you're using programs such as SurveyMonkey Experience, you have all of this data that is coming in at a consistent level that you're able to analyze, see trends, and understand what's happening, not at just one data point throughout the year. I mentioned it before, but SurveyMonkey, their experience program, is a great example. And this leads into point number 3. We need to stop looking at the data in silos. For example, with SurveyMonkey, I know they have the ability to group or categorize how they're pulling in this data, the feedback, and the information. And this allows us to create certain themes. This allows us to kind of understand whether it's buckets within management, buckets within, entry-level employees, folks fresh out of college, seeing what the consensus is, and then understanding how that is affecting our revenue, and then of course what type of changes that we need to make. Number 4, we need to give HR their time back. Running around collecting these surveys, bugging people, making sure that they filled in this form when people honestly are just clicking through the actual site, going through the motions. It doesn't require a PhD to implement a program that is going to allow you to have active listening, sporadic feedback loops, and incorporating the data where we can actually understand and picking up those themes and those trends like we mentioned before. And so if you're looking at making changes from an HR standpoint, I talk about SurveyMonkey a lot, but the biggest benefit that I would say is getting your time back from HR, right? They can do other things. And then of course, having more information that your team can physically act upon. Now, when we think about the annual snapshot timeline versus the continuous listening, you're going to see the trend of when you're continuously listening, whether it's in a relationship, a job, etc., you're going to see the ability or have the opportunities to make changes throughout the entire process, as opposed to waiting until that end of year, pizza party, annual survey type of situation. So I talked a lot about SurveyMonkey Experience Program. There's some other really great programs out there as well. But when we're looking at implementing a change within HR, the biggest thing is to avoid the silent quitting, give time back to HR, looking at data points throughout the year, not just one time. And that's how we're actually tracking, measuring, and understanding our ROI and ensuring that we're growing not only as a company in our revenue, but that our employees want to stay, that they feel heard, and that they know change is actually possible. Thank you for watching this video. If you're interested in the SurveyMonkey Experience Program, go ahead and click the link below in the description. Thank you.